Welcome back to Sci-Fi Quick Flick Recaps. In today's episode, we dive deep into the third entry of Sony's symbiote saga, Venom: The Last Dance. From chaotic action sequences to hilarious symbiote banter, this film is packed with twists and turns. So let's break it down. The movie begins where Venom Let There Be Carnage left off. Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, and his alien symbiote Venom are fugitives, wanted for the death of Detective Patrick Mulligan. Rather than laying low, the duo ends up in Mexico, recalling the post-credit scene with Cristo Fernandez as bartender. Eddie and Venom are attempting to relax, but things take a turn when Eddie gets another one of his brilliant ideas, to head to New York City and blackmail a judge in order to clear his name. From the very start, you can tell that Venom: The Last Dance retains the humor and chaotic energy of its predecessors. Venom, in particular, is at his wildest, causing mischief even when Eddie just wants some peace. This sets up a strong dynamic that fans love. Eddie as the stressed-out journalist, and Venom as the unruly inner demon who is constantly pushing Eddie's boundaries. But just as Eddie and Venom set off for New York, a far more sinister threat emerges. We're introduced to Knull, an ancient symbiote warlord who has been imprisoned on a distant planet for eons. He is bound to a throne in a dark dimension, surrounded by giant insect-like creatures. Knull is searching for an ancient MacGuffin, an object with immense power that just so happens to be in Eddie and Venom's possession without their knowledge. Knull, played by Andy Serkis, is portrayed as a powerful, brooding villain who manipulates others from the shadows. As Knull's hunt begins, Eddie and Venom are completely unaware that they are now the target of a symbiote warlord in the US military. The military, led by the character Rex Strickland, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, is also after Venom, wanting to capture and imprison him at Area 51 due to the potential threat he poses. Now, Eddie and Venom are caught between Knull's pursuit and the military's determination to lock them up. This creates the central conflict of the movie, a high-stakes chase that takes Eddie and Venom across the country while trying to avoid both Knull and the US government. On their journey to New York, Eddie and Venom engage in a series of increasingly chaotic misadventures. One of the highlights of this road trip is the duo stopping at a small-town bar, where Venom's unpredictable nature shines through. Eddie, already drunk, tries to control the situation, but Venom takes over and demands tequila. This leads to a hilarious sequence where Venom uses his symbiote tentacles to perform cocktail tricks that rival Tom Cruise's Cocktail movie. Venom's comedic enthusiasm adds a lighter tone to the film, showcasing his playful yet destructive personality. The movie's middle section is filled with over-the-top action sequences and comedy, reminiscent of Looney Tunes' Antics. One standout moment involves Eddie and Venom stealing a horse to evade the authorities, only for Venom to hijack an airplane by clinging to the outside, causing utter chaos. These moments blend the outrageous with the thrilling, delivering exactly what fans have come to expect from this franchise. Along the way, we meet a few new characters who bring their own flavor to the story. One of the key characters is Dr. Teddy Payne, played by Juno Temple, a scientist with a traumatic past who has become deeply involved in symbiote research. Her backstory adds emotional depth to the movie, as we learn that her family was destroyed by a symbiote experiment gone wrong. She's driven by a desire for revenge, but her involvement in the plot feels a bit forced at times. Additionally, a quirky family of hippies comes into play. They're obsessed with the idea of encountering extraterrestrial life, and when they cross paths with Eddie and Venom, they're in for the close encounter they always dreamed of, though it doesn't turn out the way they expected. This subplot injects some lighter moments into the movie, but it also adds to the cluttered narrative that tries to juggle multiple storylines at once. As Eddie and Venom make their way to New York, Knull's influence grows stronger. He sends terrifying symbiote creatures, known as xenophages, to hunt down Eddie and retrieve the MacGuffin. It's here that we get some of the more violent scenes of the movie, with Venom battling these monstrous creatures in brutal, high-stakes action sequences. Despite the film being rated PG-13, it doesn't hold back on the gore, with Venom tearing through enemies, and at one point, a human is essentially shredded into a mist of blood by a xenophage. In the final act, the movie reveals that the MacGuffin in Eddie's possession is a codex, an ancient piece of symbiote technology that could unleash Knull from his prison. This codex is the key to Knull's plan for world domination. Realizing the danger, Venom makes a heroic decision to destroy the codex, even though it means sacrificing his own potential power. This sets up the climactic showdown between Venom and Knull, as they face off in a battle of symbiote versus symbiote. In the film's climax, Eddie and Venom confront Knull in an epic battle. Knull, still bound to his throne but desperate to break free, sends wave after wave of xenophages to attack Eddie and Venom. The action is explosive, with Venom using all his symbiote powers to fend off these creatures while also trying to destroy the codex. In the end, Venom succeeds in destroying the codex, preventing Knull from escaping, but at a great personal cost. Venom is severely weakened, and Eddie is left wondering if they can ever truly escape the symbiote life. As with every superhero movie, Venom: The Last Dance doesn't end without teasing what's to come. In the post-credit scene, we revisit Cristo Fernandez's bartender character, who somehow survives the destruction of Area 51. Stumbling out of the wreckage, he finds himself in a barren desert, surrounded by the bodies of soldiers and aliens alike. While it seems like he's in the clear, we learn that a sample of Venom's symbiote was left behind in Area 51, hinting at future complications for the bartender and potential new threats. One of the highlights of Venom: The Last Dance is the continued development of Eddie and Venom's relationship. While previous movies have focused on their bond, this one takes it to new levels. Hardy's portrayal of both characters is exceptional, delivering both the comedic chaos of Venom and the more grounded, exasperated Eddie. Their dynamic is the heart of the film, whether it's Venom causing mayhem at a bar or the two of them sharing a rare heartfelt moment of understanding. That wraps up our deep dive into Venom: The Last Dance. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. Leave a comment below if you're excited for what's next in the Spider-Verse, or if you think it's time for Eddie and Venom to hang up the symbiote suit. Until next time, this is Shafe Quick Flick Recaps, signing off.